In a world full of giants, it's hard to be small. In a world full of wolves, it's harder still. But sometimes size isn't everything, not when you have heart. Deep in the bare-tooth wilderness, a she-wolf howled at the moon, a lonely sound that echoed through the trees. Her name was Shia, which means strong, a name given to her by the humans who had captured her as a pup and forced her into a life of misery. She remembered those days with a shudder. The only thing that had kept her going was the hope that one day she would break free and find her own pack. And now here she was, a magnificent beast with a thick gray coat, amber eyes, and paws that had never known a home. She had come to this place to give birth, to make her own pups, and with 5 healthy pups, her life felt complete. At least it would have been complete if it wasn't for the other wolves in the area. See, there were 2 rival packs in the wilderness, the Shadow Pack and the Bone Pickers, and both wanted Shia and her pups for themselves. The leader of the Shadow Pack, a huge gray wolf with a torn ear, was the first to try his luck. He showed up at night, growling, demanding that Shia leave the territory with her pups or face the consequences. But when he got closer, he saw that these weren't ordinary pups. Their fur was an unusual silvery gray, almost white, and their eyes, oh, their eyes, shone like polished amber. This wasn't a color he'd seen before, not in any wolf he'd ever known, and so, against his better judgment, he let them stay. The next night, it was the Bone Pickers' turn. They were led by a she-wolf with a crooked tail, a nasty scar running down her left eye. She snarled at She, demanding that she hand over the pups, but she didn't get very far. One look at those strange pups, and she took off. And so it was that she was left alone in her cave with her 5 pups, one smaller than the others, and no one to threaten them. Life was good. Well, except for the usual hardships of raising pups, there was one more challenge. The little pup was always last to eat. It wasn't that the others ganged up on him, but they simply grew faster and ate faster, leaving nothing for the smallest of the bunch. So there he was, hungry and weak, shivering by himself, while his siblings grew fat and sassy. He watched them play, his tail drooping between his legs. Sometimes he'd join in, but mostly he just stood on the sidelines, too tired to do anything. His whole body ached, and at night, when he curled up with his mom for warmth, he could feel her worry as she licked his fur. All he wanted was a home, a place where someone would love him for who he was, not push him around or call him names. He dreamed of a family that would welcome him, a human family that would hug him, pet him, and feed him until he was strong and happy. A family like the one he'd seen when he was just a pup. A family with a little girl who cried when she saw him and whispered, "Don't be afraid, little wolf, you're safe now." He remembered the way the man had scooped him up, wrapped him in a blanket, and carried him inside. That's what he wanted most of all, to be someone's pet. One day, he told his mom about his dream. She listened patiently, then nudged him with her nose. "Don't be silly," she said. "You're a wild animal. You can't just become someone's pet." "I know," he whispered, his ears drooping. "I guess I'm just not meant to be loved." She nuzzled him then, her eyes shining. "Oh, my sweet pup, you are loved. And one day your time will come. Just wait and see." And maybe she was right. Maybe one day his time would come. Until then, he would keep dreaming. He would dream of a house with a warm fire and a little girl with pigtails who would hug him and call him her very best friend. If you like this story, stay tuned for more adventures from the Bear-Tooth Wilderness. See you next time.